Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video we are working on full body stretches plus mobility, and this video is for all levels. So let's get started on the mat. We will start standing with toes together. Take your right hand up, grabbing onto your right wrist with your left hand. Will laterally extend towards the right. Trying to stretch your right ribs up towards the ceiling. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Very gently come back to center. We'll change, grabbing onto the left wrist and laterally extending towards the right. Continue to lift your ribs up towards the ceiling. Don't hold your breath. We'll very slowly come back. Both the arms come down with a little back stroke. Now we'll step hip width distance with toes apart. Okay, hands on the waist, knees little soft, and we'll start by creating very gentle spinal waves. As you dive forward, we will keep the knees soft and we'll try to articulate the lower back, mid back and upper back as you go down. Again, we'll arch lower back, mid back, upper back. As you come up, we'll try to tuck the pelvis round and then again arch. As you create more dynamic reps, will very slowly start to articulate more of the spine by accessing the hamstring a little bit more. If this is too much for your hamstring, you can continue to keep the knees soft. Will very slowly fold forward and very gently come into Malasana. From here, we will come into a forward fold and sit into Malasana, trying to sink into the knees more and more. As you come in a forward fold, bring your toes in again parallel to each other. As you sit in Malasana, we'll open the toes out, accessing our inner thighs a little bit more, and then come back into a forward fold here. From here, we try to create a more deeper forward fold, extending the arms back. We'll just try to pulse towards the legs, working onto the back fascial muscles. Let's go for 10 reps. And then the last one, we'll just hold in as if you're trying to hug your abdomen into your thigh. Continue to breathe. And then we will very slowly relax into it. Inhale, prepare for one more round. As you exhale, extending the arms back, will actively hug abdomen into the thigh, trying to reach towards the back of the room. Continue to breathe. And then very slowly we'll release both the hands and then come back into Malasana again. As you sit into Malasana, keep pushing the knees out, stretching into your inner thighs, sinking a little lower into your mat more and more. Grabbing onto your opposite ankle, we will create a lateral stretch. If this is too much for your elbow, you don't have to tap the elbow into the mat. Continue to breathe. We will try to stack both the shoulders in line. Very slowly come back and change sides. Try to stack the shoulders. Again, if it's too much for your right elbow, you don't have to press the elbows into the mat. Keep reaching towards the ceiling, creating this lateral opening towards the left, and then very slowly come back into Malasana. Very slowly start to walk the hands forward, but at the same time also trying to set back into Malasana, creating this nice lengthening action on your spine, looking down. Continue to walk the hands forward. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. From here, very slowly come back into Malasana, and then we'll come into our cat and cow from here. Adjust your knees right under your hips, palms right under your shoulder. We'll work on T rotation. Get your right palm behind your head, trying to tap your right elbow closer to the left wrist and then opening up towards the ceiling. And then we'll repeat this for 5 times. As you're tapping down, you're inhaling. As you're taking the elbows up, we're exhaling. Last one, inhale, exhale, and then very slowly come back, and then we'll change sides, getting the left hand behind the back. Inhale, exhaling up towards the ceiling. Really try to feel the rotation from the spine. We'll do 5 reps on the left side as well. Continue to sync your movement with your breath. Let's do 2 more like that. Last one, inhale, and as you exhale, take the elbows up towards the ceiling, and then we will very slowly come back into our cat and cow. Very slowly prepare yourself for a puppy pose where the hip and knee stays in one line, and we very slowly start to hug the chest into the mat more and more, walking the hands forward, pressing the shoulder blades down actively into the mat. Instead of putting the chin down, you want to walk the chin forward and really want to rest your neck. From here, very slowly we'll start to sit back into the child pose with your sit bones onto the heel. Continue to walk the hands forward, but also relax at the same time. From here, we will very gently roll forward into Urdhva Mukha, pushing the hips down into the mat towards the wrist crease, keeping your chin parallel, and then sitting back into the child pose. And then as you inhale, roll forward into Urdhva Mukha again. As you exhale, you will sit back into your child pose, very gently nudging your spine towards your spinal waves. And then we'll come back into a child pose again. From here, in this Urdhva Mukha, we'll press, actively tucking the toes, lifting the knees up. Instead of child pose, now we are back into a downward dog. From here, as you inhale, we will roll forward into Urdhva Mukha. There is a lot of activation into the upper body. Inhale, and then as you exhale, we will pushing the hips back, come back into downward dog, grounding the heels down. Inhaling into Urdhva Mukha again. As you exhale, leading your hips back into downward dog. Inhaling, very gently articulating the spine mindfully into Urdhva Mukha, and with the hips rolling back into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhaling Urdhva Mukha. As you exhale back into your downward dog, grounding the heels down actively. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths as an active relaxation. Inhale, step your right leg forward, preparing yourself for warrior two, really grounding from the legs, extending your hands into T. Inhaling, extend the upper body against the left leg. As you exhale, come back into T. Inhaling, both the hands up. Keep your leg grounding and solid as you exhale, come into T. Last one. Inhaling, both the hands up. As you exhale into T, and take your both the hands into an interlock. Inhale, prepare yourself for humble warrior by squaring the hips and bringing the right heel perpendicular to the floor. Trying to get our crown in line with the left toe. As we continue to hold into humble warrior, we want to constantly try to square the hips while keeping the right heel perpendicular to the floor. Very slowly, we will pivot the left toe in or your right toe, and then come into this wide leg forward fold, where we want to keep our stance still fairly compact so we can really work on stretching the hamstring and lengthening the spine here. Go as much as you can. If this is a lot for you, you can always keep the knees a little soft and you don't have to stretch out the legs fully. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Very slowly as you inhale, we'll walk our hands at the top of the mat, taking your right leg back, finding a downward dog again. You can very slowly paddle your heels out and prepare yourself for the other side. We'll do the same routine on your left leg now, coming into warrior one, keeping your legs really grounded and aligned, hips in line with the knees, getting both the hands into T. Inhale up, exhaling down, inhale up, exhaling down. Last one, inhaling up, exhaling down, interlocking the hands behind the back. Inhale, squaring the hips, getting your left heel perpendicular to the floor. As you exhale, dive forward into your humble warrior. You're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. Really try to feel that opening on the right hip. You will very slowly, using the palms, pivot into a wide leg forward fold. At any point you feel it's a lot for your knee, try to keep a micro bend, really trying to lengthen the spine. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. And then very slowly we'll come back, walking our palms at the top of your mat, finding a downward dog again. From here, as you inhale, we will again step the right leg forward. I'm doing the left side first. From here, we'll try to push the hips down and forward, really trying to activate into the back quad. Imagine you're trying to put the back quad down into your mat. Very slowly reaching for your left quad, really trying to create that activation in your left quad. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. If this is a lot in terms of stretch, you can always back off range wise. Very slowly bringing both the palms back, coming down on the elbows in line with your right toe. As much as we try to push the hips down and forward, we'll keep trying to push the chest away by rounding the back more and more. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. From here, very slowly, we'll try to stack the left hip on top of the left knee while lengthening the right leg into a half split. If you want more range, flex the right toe. If this is a lot, we're going to stay on the palms with your right leg straight. If you're comfortable, we'll also create a forward fold. As we fold here, we'll keep focusing on squaring the hips. Let's stay here for a couple of breaths. At any point this feels a lot, feel free to back off. Very slowly rise up onto your palms. We'll very gently retract the right leg back, and just for a brief moment we'll pick this back up into a downward dog. As you inhale, stepping your left leg forward, we will try to create this Anjani Asana action from the hips, where we're trying to push the right quad down and forward into the mat, reaching for the right toe with your left palm. Pick a range which feels stretchier but also comfortable for your right quad. There is no pressure on the right knee. Make sure you're really inhaling and exhaling here. Continue to breathe. Very gently let go of your right toe, very slowly coming back into the palms. Trying to bring the elbows in line with the left toe into this lizard pose, but we keep pushing the hips down and forward while protracting the back away from the mat. These are very deep stretches. Make sure you're breathing throughout and not holding your breath. And you very slowly rise up on your palms. We will stack the right hip on top of the right knee, extending the left leg forward into a half split. Create flexion into your left toe, and then very gently create a forward fold. Forward fold is highly optional. If that's something available in your practice, please feel free to take it. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Very gently rise up. We will very mindfully retract the right leg back again and then very slowly come back in your downward dog. Shift the gaze forward in between your palms. Inhale, exhale, jump, step, float. Come seated on your sit bones. Extend both the legs forward into Dandasana. We will get the right toe close to your left inner thigh into Janu Shirshasana. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, fold forward. Go as much as you can. As we stay in Janu Shirshasana, make sure you're pressing your right knee down into the mat. Your hips are squaring, your shoulders are squaring, the spine is lengthening. Continue to breathe. From here, very slowly come up. We will very slowly pivot to the side, getting your right knee in line with the left toe. Inhale, stand up on the right knee. As you exhale, creating lateral stretch on the right side of your body. Keep walking the left palm very slowly and progressively towards the ankle. Don't force it. Imagine you're lifting your right ribs up towards the ceiling. Inhale, very slowly come back. Come on your elbows. Very slowly we'll start to push the left toe and right knee in line away from each other like a modified frog. You want your hips stacking in line with your knee and your toes. Really creating this deep stretch in your inner thighs. Make sure you're breathing. And you very slowly come back. Feel free to stay here as long as you want. Again, we'll come back into Janu Shirshasana. From there, we'll come into Dandasana and Janu Shirshasana on the other side. Make sure as we sit to fold, we are squaring the hips, pushing the left knee down into the mat. Inhale, lengthen as you exhale, fold. You really want your shoulder and hip squaring here. Continue breathing. We will stay here for a couple of breaths. Feel free to stay here as long as you want. Very slowly come up. We'll pivot towards the left, getting the left knee in line with the right toe. Inhale, lengthen. From the left arm up, left lateral line engage. Very slowly stretching towards the right, walking the right palm towards the right ankle. Continue to lift the left ribs up towards the ceiling. Inhale and exhale through the nose. From here, very slowly come up. Again, bringing both the palms in line with the shoulder on the mat. Using it as a support, we will start to push the toe and knee away from each other. Maintaining your hips in line with your knee and the toe. Imagine you're trying to push your hip forward instead of pushing your pelvis or caving your hips back. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Feel free to modify the range. Go as much as you can. Very slowly come out. From here, very slowly come on the sit bones into Dandasana. Both the legs extending, really trying to sit taller from your spine. Prepare yourself for Paschimottanasana twist or forward fold twist. Grabbing the right toes outstretched from the left palm, lifting the right palm up towards the ceiling. And then doing the same thing on the other side. Create rotation from the spine, like T rotations, but seated. We'll move on to the other side. Exhaling back, inhaling and lifting your right palm up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, other side. Inhale up again. Exhaling, we'll change side. We're using inhalation to really open up towards the ceiling, and exhalation to transition to the other side. Keep following the pace of your breath here. left, and we are back into Dandasana again. Inhale, lifting your spine up, lift both the hands up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, fold forward into Paschimottanasana or your forward fold. We're really trying to lengthen our spine, also creating a very deep stretch in your hamstring by flexing the toes in. From here, very slowly come back. We will prepare ourselves for some neck rotations in Baddha Konasana in butterfly pose. Bring heels together, toes together. We'll start clockwise, dropping right ear to the right shoulder, head, drop the head back, left ear to the left shoulder, chin to the chest, right, back, left, chest, right, back, left, chest, right, back, left, chest, right, back, left, chest. We will very slowly change direction, left, back, right, chest, left, back, right, chest, left, back, right, chest, left, back, right, chest. Last one, left, back, right, and chest. From here, very slowly lift your chin parallel to the floor. Very slowly create this wide leg Baddha Konasana where your heels and knees are in line, and we're trying to create forward fold by walking the palms forward, lengthening the spine forward. Go as much as you can. From here, very slowly come up. You can pivot on the sides of your mat using your mat sideways. Come into the wide leg forward fold. Make sure before you fold forward, your toes are actively flexing, and then we'll try to fold forward as much as you can. Think about getting your abdomen, chest, and then chin on the floor. Really getting that rotation from the inner thigh. Very slowly come up. We'll create a lateral Parivrata Parshvakonasana. Grabbing onto the outer edge of the right toe, extending laterally on the right leg. Continue to lift the ribs up. Inhale. As you exhale, change sides. Feel free to stay in stretches as long as you feel comfortable. 5 to 8 breaths is nice. From here, very slowly come up, getting both the toes together. We will very gently lie down on your mat. Extending both the legs in front, prepare for Supta Hasta Padangusthasana. Very gently bring the right leg up, grabbing onto the right big toe, pressing the left thigh down with the left palm. Start to pull the right leg or the right thigh into the abdomen or chest. Use a little bit of forearm strength. Don't force it. From here, we'll take the right knee into the right armpit by grabbing the right toe from inside into a happy baby pose. Continue to ground the left leg down with your left palm. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Feel a nice deep stretch onto your right hip. Very slowly, using the core strength, put the right leg back down on the mat. Very gently lift the left leg up, pressing the right thigh down with the right palm. We will start to pull the left leg in. Make sure you're breathing. From here, we will create a happy baby pose onto your left leg. You want to keep your left leg very close to your left lateral line, your knee into the armpit. your toe perpendicular in line with the knee. Inhale and exhale through the nose here. Stay for as long as you want, very slowly bringing the left leg back into the mat. Prepare yourself for Sarvangasana. You want to stack your hips and toes in line with the shoulder without putting any stress on your chin. Keep supporting your back with your palms behind your back. You can also slowly, progressively walk your palms towards your mid back. Very gently transitioning into Halasana. Keep tucking the toes towards your head for a deeper stretch on the hamstring. You still want to maintain the hips in line with the shoulder here. Stay for as long as you want. Dropping the knees in line with the ears as if you're trying to close the ears into Karnapidasana. Think instead of grounding the knees down, you want to bring the knees in the shoulders. We will stay here for a couple of breaths. And then very slowly bring awareness to your spine. Very slowly start to come back on the mat, but continue to hug the legs into the chest straight. We want to bring the legs in the torso line like a pancake. Very slowly releasing both the legs down. Interlacing the right leg on top of the left one into Garudasana legs, dropping both the knees towards the left. Looking over the right shoulder, pressing the right shoulder back into the mat more and more. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Very slowly come back to center. Change legs, left leg interlacing on the right one, guiding both the knees towards the right, pressing the left shoulder back into the mat, into this nice deep spinal twist. From here, very slowly come back, release both the legs and very gently start to prepare for Shavasana. Allow your toes and palms to gently sink into the mat more and more. Very slowly bring your awareness to your breath, to your nasal inhalations and exhalations. You can stay for as long as you want in Shavasana. Gently move your toes and fingers. Very gently bring your toes together. Fold your left knee. Turn your body on right hand side. With the support of your left palm, sit in any comfortable posture. Interlocking your hands behind your back, tucking the chin to the chest as you exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, sit right back up. Gently release your hands, rub your palm against each other. Cup your eyes, feel the warmth around your eyes. From here, very gently blink and open your eyes and look into your palms first. Thank you for joining me for today's practice. I'll see you in the next video on the mat.